Hello. In this video I'm going to cover basics of project management in Trados Business Manager. We will start from beginning, create some quote, go through creation of real tasks, invoices, jobs, projects, assignments, everything from the start of the cycle and to final payment. Before we will start actually demoing all the functionality, let me just try to explain main concepts used in Business Manager. Under concepts, I mean some terms and main object types which we create in the application to record all the tasks and amounts and volumes which we handle as a translation department or as a company. Everything starts optionally from a quote. So we have a quote object, and inside a quote we have nested table which contains quote items. Then quote may exist or does not exist. Next object type where we can input and all the information is translation project. Actually, separately, translation project does not contain any volumes and amounts information. So translation project is just a box for translation jobs. Translation job allow to specify some work in a particular language pair. If translation project may have single source language and multiple target languages, then translation job may have only one language pair. Inside translation job, we have a list of tasks. Each task in the job specifies some volume of work which we as a company or translation department have to do. So in each task we specify which service is provided, how much of this service we provide, like quantity, and price per some unit in which this quantity is expressed, and total amount of a task. For a task, we can specify fuzzy type, for example, as well. So each job may have a lot of translation tasks, but with different fuzzy types, for example. Or it can be proofreading, DTP, or some additional services, whatever. So any task which we have physically do to deliver this translation job to our client. Optionally, translation job may have receivables table. Receivables table almost replicate task contents, but it can be used if quantities, prices, and amounts specified in the job tasks table does not equal to something which we want to invoice our customer for. For example, if we have multiple job tasks with different fuzzy types, we do not want to specify everything in invoice, for example. We want to just say this is translation, this is amount of words, and here is a price. Then we can convert job tasks into job receivables, and in this way we have job tasks separately, something which we have to do internally, and job receivables, which is something which we will invoice our client for. Another example of converting job tasks to job receivables is units. If, for example, we need to count work internally in words or in pages or some units, but we need to invoice our client in other units, then again we have to use receivables. Or for example, if we have translation, proofreading, DTP, or some other tasks internally, but we want to invoice our client with single row like translation all included, then again we have to create receivables. But if contents of a job tasks table absolutely identical to what we want to see in invoice, then job receivables table should not be used. We can just leave everything in job tasks. And actually this is pretty common case when receivables are not used by our users and only job tasks table is used. So we have translation project, we have multiple translation jobs inside the project, and inside each job we have multiple tasks or receivables. Then for each job task we can create, or probably not like this, for each translation job we can create translation assignments, any number of assignments. Inside assignment we also have two tables. One is assignment tasks and another is assignment payables. The logic here is absolutely the same. Tasks contain some real volumes of work which should be done by vendors, and payables is optional table which should be filled only in case if assignment tasks do not correspond to something which we want to see in incoming invoice from a vendor. Each assignment task has a link to job task. So job task has some quantity and also such columns as assigned quantity and unassigned quantity. So when we create a translation assignment and some tasks in these assignments, then this task can be linked to job task, and this will allow us to track how much words or some other units we have assigned or not assigned to our vendors. This means that if translation assignment task is linked to some translation job task, then it should have absolutely the same unit to make this tracking correct. So if we want to assign some work to our vendors in different units, then we have to use payables table in the assignment. So this is how tracking is implemented in Business Manager. Additionally, translation job can be created without linking to any translation project. So we just go to list of jobs, for example, create a new translation job, fill everything except translation project field, and in this way we get just a job in some single language pair which does not belong to any project. This is possible as well. The same with assignments. Assignment can be created without linking to any project or job. For example, good example here is when we use some proofreader for checking test pieces submitted by our vendors. We just create translation assignment. We do not link it with any project. We create some task in that assignment, and we do not link it with any job task, source job task. Just an assignment, something which we should pay or not pay for, but we do not get any money from our client, because we do not have client in this case, we only have a vendor. So this link between assignments and job is also not mandatory, but of course it all affects on reporting. If for example you want to build some reports periodically, then of course it will be good practice to follow the same working approach in the application. So create some project, then create translation jobs inside that project, and for each job create assignments, and each task in assignment link with a job. This allows us to get some concrete set of records, projects, jobs, and assignments which are linked between each other, so we may build reports based on these links and get corresponding results and information. And now let's demonstrate this all on practice, and let's go through the whole process. Probably it will be I will be trying to demonstrate it pretty quickly, just generally how it looks like. So we will demonstrate client portal, vendor portal, and the whole process. Like, client creates a quote from the portal, we process this quote, send it back to client, and etc. until final payments made by our client to us and from us to our vendors. So let's start. We already have some clients in the list of clients and some vendors in the list of vendors. I won't be demonstrating how to create them. Also, under security users, we already have some customer linked with some client, customer user, and some vendor user linked with some vendor. So our portals are also ready to work. Let's switch to another browser and log in as a customer. Then we create a new quote request and fill main information for this quote, like job title, currency, project manager, source language. Let's just pick up probably one and probably two languages. And finally, let's select a file to upload and upload some file. Let's say it will be sample doc, and submit. When you click submit, notification will be sent to a manager. We click here, we go to our quote, and here we have a quote. From here we can do a number of actions. We can just create quote items manually here, or we can use import data from CAD tools to import some analysis report, or we can use our WS button to create a project in Studio, in Group Share, in Trados Live, and also import analysis report here. For simplicity, I will just create quote items manually for German language, and then for Russian language the same. So we have two quote tasks, and we can submit this quote to our client. In the same manner, we can create proofreading tasks as well and specify, for example, 1 hour for each, or some additional costs like PM fee or something like that. But that's enough for now. Let's check status to send, which means that this quote is sent to our client, and click save. Notification was sent to a client. Client opens a quote on the portal and clicks accept a quote. In the result, translation project was created, TBM demo. We also get a notification that customer accepted our quote, and we can go to projects and find a project which was created after quote acceptance by our client. Quote translation project is created, and here you can find a number of tasks in the project editing window, like main data. We have main data copied from our quote, and then under jobs we will find 2 jobs, and if I click on the job I will find a task below. Additionally, I can switch to job tasks tab and find all the tasks from all the project jobs which we have in this project accordingly. And you can see prices, volumes, amounts here in the list of tasks. So this list of tasks specify total volume and total amount of our project, which you can find here below this table. The next thing which we would like to do is to assign these tasks to our vendors. And then we will get some assigned volume here and margins. Under list of tasks, you can find that this quantity is 500 and quantity unassigned is 500 as well. So this means that this job wasn't still assigned to any vendors. Under list of jobs, you can find also the same information, but for all tasks, unassigned amount. Unassigned, it should be quantity here, I suppose. 55, no, amount. Alright, uninvoiced amount, sorry. Quantity unassigned is 500. Yeah, I missed columns. So we go to translation assignments, and here we can create assignments. To do this, I click create assignments button and get notification confirmation message that 2 assignments were created. And if I will go to assignment tasks, I can find that two assignments were created, and each of them contains 1 task. And if we will return to translation jobs, you will find that quantity unassigned is now 0 for each job, which means that we have translation assignments created for all our jobs. Now the task is to assign these 2 assignments to our vendors. This can be done in different ways. One of those is select an assignment and click apply vendor, so this assignment will be immediately assigned to a vendor. Another way is to double click on an assignment to open its editing form in the model dialog. And here we have vendor field. If we know who will be doing this work, we just can select vendor from this list, and this vendor will be assigned to this work. Additionally, we can click search button and do searching from vendors which we have in a database, and here we get access to some additional parameters and additional information about vendors, and to recommendation mechanism, which can recommend us vendors by machine learning, by previous information based on which assignments and projects this or one or another vendor worked before. And here we can view services provided by each vendor, average ratings, estimated amounts, and all the previous assignments where one or another vendor worked for before for us, and ratings for each of those assignments. Also, we can go to assignment candidates in the assignment dialog and click add candidates. We get the same window, but we can select multiple vendors here and add them as candidates to this assignment, and then we can create availability requests and send them to our vendors. To do this, I select both candidates, click create availability requests. I can attach some file, click OK, and I get 2 messages created, and I click send all to send these offers to our vendors. And after that, status is changed to offered candidate. Alright, so we have 2 candidates which have an offer to work on this assignment. And then let's go to second browser, log out as a customer, and log in as vendor. And you can see that we have this work offered to this vendor. If I open this offer, I will find details about this assignment, instructions, tasks, 500 words, and file which a vendor can download and check if they want to work on this assignment or not. So when they are ready to make a decision, they click accept work and thank you. In the result, we get back to the dashboard, and now job offer disappeared from here, and we return to manager browser, and you can see that vendor Lisa Evans has just accepted the job. So notification arrived, and to see it, we have to refresh information about assignments, because now this project is opened and stored in memory. If we will get back to assignment and open, I suppose this one, this is Russian one, and go to assignment candidates, you can see that Lisa Evans answered and accepted. Now we can assign a vendor, click assign a vendor here from candidates, and it will be immediately moved to this vendor field, and status will be changed to in work. You can see, I click. In the result, application generates purchase order, assigns a vendor, and we have to change status to in work manually. And if we will go to files, we will find purchase order here and source file. Okay, and I save it. And now this vendor can start working on, you've been assigned to a new job, can start working on this assignment. We go to assignments, find this work, it is in work now. Vendor works on an assignment and then clicks deliver. Here we have source file, and we upload some target file here, and target file type is translated file. Okay. We return back to the dashboard, and now this TBM demo assignment can be found here. If we return here, we see that vendor has fully or partially delivered the job. Okay, and we have to again refresh this view here, because now it is displayed as in work. Let me close the project, open it again, go to assignments, and we can see that this one is delivered. From now we can do the following. We can go to files and click collect files, and you can see that this view provides us to all files which we have as a source in this project, and then under this source file we can find target files for all our languages. And this red row here informs us that work on German translation has not been started, but for Russian translation it is green, so it is ready to be delivered. And under source column we can find a link to translation assignment from where this file is coming from. It will be good to demonstrate if we have two-phase project and we need to do translation and proofreading as well. So let's go to job tasks, and here we have this button, add a new service to all jobs. Let's add proofreading, quantity 1, and unit will be hours. Alright, so we have added proofreading to both jobs. Okay, now we want to have assignments for this proofreading task as well. I go to assignments and click create assignments again, and two other assignments were created, and you can see that they were created for proofreading service. And now we want to assign proofreading proofreading task to some vendor again. What we do, we go to this translation assignment, go to files, and by default when we clicked create assignment, this file was automatically added here, source file, but we do not need it. I click unlink and then click add a new file from a source job. And here we can find our translated file from our translation job. I click this and attach this file to this assignment. And again, I select Lisa Evans and status is in work. And I click OK to assign this job to the same vendor. And let's go to vendor dashboard, to assignments, and we can find proofreading task in the list of assignments for our vendor. And again, I deliver this proofread file like that, and now it will be like this, row 2 times. And target type should be proofread file this time. Okay. So we delivered, and we see notification, we delivered the second assignment. And now if we will go to files of our project and click collect files again, we will find that translation and proofreading phase wasn't started for German language and proofreading is done for Russian. So I collect this file, select it in the list and click OK. In the result, this file is added to our translation project. If I click collect files again, you can see that Russian proofread file is marked as with gray color, which means that it has already been collected in our project. Now we have to wait when German translation and proofreading will be done, and we can deliver the whole project to our client. Let's imagine that we are ready to deliver. I click save, but before we move to client portal, let's finish with vendor portal. Our vendor, Lisa Evans, has delivered 2 assignments to us, and she is ready to invoice us. She goes to list of assignments or to her dashboard and selects these 2 jobs, so she is ready to invoice us. Then vendor clicks register invoice and provides a number 14134, for example, payment term. Let's say it will be end of month, currency, and you can see that 2 assignments were added to an invoice and total amount is here. Vendor cannot edit it, just can add it here like that. And if vendor has some file, they can upload invoice file here. Then I click OK, and you can see that payment status of this assignment was changed to invoiced. If I go to a separate list of assignments, you will find it here. So this assignment is delivered and invoiced. And under notifications, we get that notification that Lisa Evans has just created a new invoice. We go to assignments and find that we have these 2 invoiced assignments. And if we will go to incoming invoices, we find an invoice from Lisa Evans. Then we click on approve to mark that this invoice was approved for payment, and then we can click create a payment to after actually payment is done, to register this payment in favor of Lisa Evans. And then click OK. And if we will go to we are in invoices, and you can see that now we have paid this invoice for the whole amount and due is 0. And then we return to translation assignments, and you can see that both these assignments are now marked as paid. So this cycle is closed in terms of relations with our vendor. Of course, we can apply different filters in the list of assignments to check which ones are invoiced and needed to be paid. We can go to list of incoming invoices and also create different filters to check which invoices are overdue or which are to be paid this week or whatever. So filtering is very, very flexible and powerful. We can create any filters as needed and save them for future use here. And now we are ready to return to client portal. So in the project we have collected files, and these files are ready to be delivered to our client. Let's go to portal, log out as vendor, and let's log in as a customer. Sign in. And on the dashboard we can find ongoing projects, TBM demo. Customer can open this job, and under deliverables tab they can find this file which is translated and proofread. Client can click download, open, and this file will appear on their computer, like that. Additionally, from our manager instance, we can click write a message to PM, and this dialog will offer us to attach a file to deliver to our client. I select this Russian file, click OK, and under recipients we get client project manager added to recipients. Under files we have sample file. Under message we have templated project delivery message, and if we click preview we can find that this message was variables were replaced by actual information from our project, and we can send these files in email to our client as well. So I click OK, and this is another way how to deliver files if we do not have client portal. Next, our job, after both assignments were delivered by our vendors, work status was automatically changed to finished. This means that we also can invoice this job to our customer. I click create invoice on the project toolbar, and I get invoice creation dialog, and here we get one job included because this project contains 2 jobs, but one is still in work, but another one is finished and ready to be delivered. So invoiced, sorry, and this job was included in our invoice. And what we can do here, we can click generate PDF, or we can preview an invoice like that, or generate PDF. So PDF file will be generated and included under files tab. Then we can message to clients. We can view this message, and we can find that this file was included in the created message to our client. And then I click send, and it will be sent by email to a client as well. Okay. So when invoice is created and saved, under client portal, client can go to invoices, and they can find this invoice. No, this is not this one. It's here, but filtering is incorrect here. So if I order by date descending, we can find this invoice here in the list. So client knows that they have some invoice incoming. They can open it and go to files to view a file as well, like that. So when client process the payment and we get actually a payment to our account, we can go to list of outgoing invoices, find our invoice for LightPoint, and click create payment as well. We then register how much payment we got, link this payment to invoices, and click OK. And now this invoice is marked as paid. And if I will go to translation jobs, we see that this TBM demo job is also marked as paid. And if we go to projects, open the project, find jobs, and we can find that this one here is paid as well. Another one is still in process. And with time, when all other jobs also will become processed and finished, and then we can click create invoice button again, and another invoice will be created, but this time translation job in German language will be included here. So we check it, we save it, we go to list of invoices for a project, we find that this one is draft, we change it to send, and click create a payment. We get a payment for the same amount, click OK, and now this invoice is marked as paid as well. And if we go to jobs, we can find that that this one is paid also. And then we go to main data and manually close this job or project and return to list of projects. At the end, so this is the cycle from quote to payment, and at the end, just before finishing this video, let's go to projects, quick reports, not to projects, to reports, quick reports, and we can find a number of reports here. For example, let's find which one, clients, amounts by languages. This one, if we select light point, for example, with this client we just worked, and we can find how many words in how many languages we have translated for which amount for this client. Or if we go to which one, number of projects by customers and managers, probably not. Customer job amounts, we can select some customer and find how many jobs we have created in each year and months, and find amounts which we processed with our customer. What else? By languages, probably amounts by languages. We already checked this. Average volumes, number of jobs, projects, amounts, volumes analysis, or amounts by languages. Let's check this. Yeah, and here we can select different projects which we have in the system, and here is statistics for our demo project which we have processed. So we can find amounts per each language, or total, assigned amounts, total margins, and this chart displays us also amount, assigned amount, and margins per selected project. You can go through different built-in reports which we have here and try to generate them to check how it looks like. Also, you can go to list of projects, select our project, and click print button, and also predefined report will be generated showing us all project jobs and assignments which we have here. So this is everything. This is all which I want to cover in this basics video about workflow. Hope it was helpful and not so long, not so boring. Thank you for watching, and see you in next videos. Bye bye.